We gon' run it, hit the field, blast off, watch them all fall. This is AFC North talk. Got me hype, it's about to be a touchdown. Got the Ravens, Steelers, Bengals, and the Browns. Are you listening? It's time to get it hype. Tune in when the season poppin'. Yeah, we going live. Hey, knock 'em out. Ay, first down, going hard. Yes, indeed. AFC North talk. Let's go. Hey, AFC North talk.
Welcome to another edition of ASC North Talk. Here we are. The trade deadline just went by. A lot of good trades happening. The Jets were on fire. If you're a Jets fan, I don't know if you're just sad or excited. I don't know. You have a lot to look forward in the next two drafts if you're a Jets fan. But let's get it started here real quick. We have a couple super chats before we get start. Rusi. Shout out to you, man. It says, who's more delusional, Browns fans or Zach Taylor?
I don't. That's a good one right there, bro. I don't know.
I think it's Zach Taylor very easily. I don't think Browns fans are too delusional. I think that most of them realize, this team kind of isn't what it is.
I think it's not what. I don't know if you're talking about Browns fans or he's talking about the Shador fans, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Shador. There's a segment in the Browns fan, the Shador Sanders
That makes
fans.
sense.
That this guy is basically the next. He might be good.
I don't think Browns fans can be delusional.
I'm not saying that they can't, but I feel like
not right now. They're very down.
A good chunk of them are.
Yeah, I think in terms of this question, I think it is Zach Taylor. I mean, to not fire Al Golden after that performance, we'll get into that, but yeah, it's Zach Taylor.
And then Avi Man 001 said the Bengals defense decided to dress up for Halloween as the kids from Weapons.
Yeah,
I'm
not sure about that reference, but
yeah, me neither.
We're not scary.
It's a movie where I haven't seen it, but like a group of kids in a classroom disappear. So that's.
Okay, yeah, they disappear.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
gotcha. Okay, well, that being said, so a couple of trades in the AFC. Now, by the way, Quincy is coming. He said that he's gonna take a couple minutes that he's finishing something up. It feels good not to be in the basement, but I'm not getting too comfortable. We're still just like half a game above here. The Bengals traded Wilson.
Yeah.
That was the only trade, right, Jace?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, no one else did anything.
Trades today.
No. From the Bengals, the Ravens also for DeMonte Jones.
Oh yeah, Draymond Jones. They got him last night.
Yeah, we got him. And then the Steelers didn't do any other trade.
The Browns did trade somebody. The Browns traded that
Joe Tryon-Shoyinka.
Yeah, they traded him out.
When did he added his second last name? Because I remember Scout it
was after he got drafted,
right? Because I remember just being Tryon.
It was like the second or third year.
Okay, I'm not crazy then, because I remember from Washington looking at this guy like, oh, this is a nice prospect. Let me look at. And I didn't know he was going to be in the first round.
Do that like it's like. Odafe Owe used to be Jason Owe at Penn State and changed it for I don't know what
well, he said that Jason is his middle name. Odafe is his first name. But he used to use Jason because it was easier for people. And same thing with Nnamdi Madubuike.
Yeah, I was just gonna bring that up. He was Madubuike.
It's the same thing. It was the same concept here.
Steelers didn't do piss all during the trade deadline, and I'm not happy about it. God forbid my team give me anything nice.
I will say this. Let me start with my team. Very hot take here. I like the move. It's not that I don't like the move. I think it was a decent move. Is it a move here that is going to be a backbreaker? This is the move that pushes you to the Super Bowl. This is the move that will make. Nah, it's just a depth move. Nothing crazy, right? They also traded Jair Alexander. They haven't been using him. It's fine. TA Tampa overtook his snaps, so obviously he wasn't needed. That was fine. My problem is here.
Did he play after week 1?
Yeah. When everybody got, they remember the week of the Texans.
Oh, okay. Well,
how Hamilton was hurt and Marlon Humphrey didn't play.
They played him out of force rather than wanting to do
exactly. And as soon as Marlo came back, he was inactive.
So is he washed or is it just what was it? What was up with that situation? Because
so I wonder this: the Ravens cannot put pressure, right? We established that. Mm-hmm. So every time they play zone defense. Ain't happening, right? Because since you don't have pressure, it only takes Very little for somebody to pop open. I think that's where Jair plays best, not man coverage. Man coverage, he was getting cooked. He was getting cooked in man coverage. So I don't know exactly what Philly plays. Maybe because they are able to create pressure with the two big fronts from Georgia. Now with the other two coming, Jordan Phillips and the other guy that they had that they retired came back. So they have ways to put pressure. So maybe in a zone coverage scheme he will flourish. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
He's in the Fangio defense, right?
Yeah.
They don't blitz a ton, but they get pressure because they've got a lot of guys in the front four that can do it. So I mean, we'll see. I think that
they only gave up a 6.
They gave up nothing to get him, which is that's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's all of the. Well, I mean, we'll ask you about the Browns trade whenever he gets in. But
now the one thing I will say for the AFC North or for the Ravens, what I don't want to hear is at the end of the year, they have a ton of picks right now. I think they had like 4 or 5 fifth rounders. I mean, they had I think like 12 picks or 13 picks projected. Right?
That's too many.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's stupid. So why do you want so many picks? Because not all these guys are gonna make it.
I'm glad that you brought that up. I'll let you finish, but then and I'm gonna say my piece. But yeah,
because this is the year. If you're the Ravens, right? If you're the Costa and company, if you think, and last year they had similar situation and now they already made a team. And if you think, oh man, we are a guard away. Well, you can see Pennington got traded for 6 or 7. I can remember. Very, very cheap over there to the Chargers, right? And then you saw a couple other pieces that could have been just like, even if it is rotational guys to add to your depth for a 5th round pick. Again, you have so many picks right now. You bring 6 or 5 5th round picks, 2 6th round picks, 3 4 round picks. Maybe half of those guys are gonna be making the team. What are you gonna do with the other picks? It was basically wasted picks. Why not trade it for veterans? They might help you this year. Even if next year they're not in the team, it's fine. You need help right now, especially how thin the Ravens are in the D-line. I don't want to hear at the end of the year the Ravens graph saying, well, we were injured. We were thin in that position. No, you had a chance. You had a chance with all these picks to solidify. I'm not even saying with superstars. I would love to have a superstar, but not that. Just bring me C+ to B- players. That's all. Veteran guys last year into the deal. Maybe Calais Campbell is a guy that I was pounding. Like, bring me Calais Campbell. Calais Campbell would be great. Send them a 4. Send them 2 5s. I don't care. That is a guy that can help you. Nah, we're good. We're good. So
I wonder if Arizona winning last night put a damper on them being sellers at the deadline.
Not only that, he had 2 sacks. Yeah,
he played well.
So maybe they asked a little bit. But my point is, this could have been happened last week. They know how many picks they have. So that's all for my Ravens fan base and for the Costa apologists and the Harbaugh. I don't want to hear it next year. Oh, we were thin. We were injured. You had a chance. Yeah,
and I just hate the whole argument of like, oh man, they can't trade a 4th round pick. So many people put way too much investment and value into draft capital. Like if you can get a proven guy, the Jaguars got Jacoby Myers for a 4th and a 6th. Like
great trade.
Yeah. Like what are you doing? And with from just the Steelers' perspective, I think that Omar Khan, the Chase Claypool trade really messed up his head, I think, because now he thinks that every trade has to be a bargain. Where you just duped Ryan Poles.
The other team.
Yeah. Like you duped Ryan Poles, and that's good. And you got a heck of a trade when it comes to trading Chase Claypool for basically Joey Porter Jr. because that's what the pick ended up being.
Yep.
But like a 4th and a 6th, why would you not give that up for Jacoby Myers?
It's throughout the NFL because I just read that the Jets wanted a 3rd for Breece Hall. That she said, nah, 4.
Yeah, and I'm like, throughout the NFL. No, you're right.
Are you trying to win or not? You don't have a running game right now. Breece Hall is a great running back.
And it's not every team because obviously we've seen the Eagles are willing to part ways with picks Rams, when it means getting great players. Obviously the Rams, won a Super Bowl doing that. Yeah. So I just get so tired of like when people I talked about it yesterday with where Trey Hendrickson could go if they were to trade him, just hypothetically. And I said, yeah, if you're a contending team that feels like you're a player away from doing it, yeah, it's an overpay to give up a 1st round pick for Trey. But yeah, you should do it. Even if, he is on the other side of 30, you'd have to pay him. If you win a Super Bowl, who gives a shit? And it's just, you can't part ways with a 1st round pick. There's no guarantees that guy's going to end up being Trey Hendrickson, much less anything good altogether. So I think people put way too much value into picks. Not to say that they don't mean anything, but like mid-round picks, it's like, oh man, I really can't part ways with this 5th rounder, dude. Yeah, you can. Another receiver got traded for a 4 and a 5. It was Rashid Shaheed to the Seahawks. He went for a 4 and a 5. Like,
especially day 3 picks
for nothing. Yeah,
especially
like take all my day 3 picks. I don't give a shit.
As Duke Tobin as my de facto GM, take my goddamn first and second day picks because they don't matter anyway. Especially when, like you guys were talking about, like the Quentin Williams trade. Some people were like, "Oh, I wouldn't have done that 2nd round pick in the future first." I'm like, well, this year we drafted Shamar Stewart. And then we drafted Demetrius Knight. They both suck. I'd rather have Quentin Williams. Like when you have an all-pro or something like that, like even people talking about the Sauce thing, like, oh, like two first rounders for Sauce, that's an overpay. That's an all-pro corner. Like the chances of you drafting someone that's going to be an all-pro in the 1st round is very slim. So like saying, like, we don't know what the Jets are going to draft. If they screw that draft up, what are the chances that they're going to be able to get an all-pro
Browns
like Quentin Williams and like Sauce Gardner? Those were 2 all-pro caliber players. All pros are not like normal. Those guys are like, usually there's only 2 selected for the first team in the NFL. Like they've made both of those teams. So like when it comes down to it, you do have to part with draft capital for known commodities. And Sauce Gardner is young. He's not over the hill or anything like that. He's a young player. You already have
that came out of nowhere too, by the way. Like nobody was talking about that happening. Yeah.
It was crazy because I was talking with my partner on our podcast, like, hey, we should try to get Quentin Williams. And I was like, do you think Sauce Gardner's available? Like Aaron Glenn's a new guy there. He's a corner. Is he going to keep Sauce because he's a corner, or is he trying to kind of bring his new era in there? And we were kind of talking about the similarities of like the Lions, right? Like when Dan Campbell took over,
right.
And we talked about it on this show, and it was like, yeah, he's going to get roped to bring in his guys and do his own thing. So seems like that's what he's trying to do. So yeah, I was still shocked though. I was like, nah, a couple weeks ago, I was like, nah, they wouldn't trade Sauce. There's no way that they trade Sauce.
I saw somebody tweet after the trade, and it's not like a big name. It was just somebody who I saw on Twitter. It's like, man, that Colts, their fine ass owner is doing a lot of work over there, and I laughed pretty hard.
Yeah,
I would say this.
When it comes down to the Logan Wilson deal for the Bengals, I thought it was stupid. Like,
what did they get for him?
A 7th round pick. That's it.
Yeah, and both of your linebackers are struggling. If your linebackers would have been doing good right now, I can kind of get that.
Yeah, it would make sense, but they're not. They suck. They're the 2 worst linebackers on PFF out of like 500 something players. Like they suck. So, I mean, I knew that Logan Wilson was gone. I did several videos on Bleacher Report saying like he's gone, like he's not practicing. He's a healthy scratch. He's inactive. He's requested a trade.
But a 7th round pick though, that's crazy.
Yeah,
nothing. A 7th round, like you got mollywopped by Jerry Jones. Dog.
Yeah, that's like, saying a lot.
Jerry Jones finessed you, and you're still playing cap hits into next season with this guy. Like, I don't know. For me, like, if I'm giving up somebody like that, you got to get another player in return. Like, even if it's a lower caliber player, like a 7th round pick is not fixing your line.
Dude, even Massey, right? They ended up trading Massey Smith.
That's who I wanted. Yeah. So, like, when I was like, just do a straight up pick for Mazi. Like, it's a similar situation. He's a healthy scratch for them. They don't want to play him. We don't want to play Logan. Swap it out. You need a nose tackle because clearly TJ Slayton is ass. And clearly Mike Pennell asked for his release, and you're starting a backup as a practice squad guy as the backup. He sucks. Like, yeah, Mazi Smith might have been a bust for them, but at this point, you have a need at that position. Yeah. So if you need him at minimum as a backup, that's better than a 7th round pick. So that was the only thing where I was coming from. Like, I get it. Like, when people ask for trades, their trade value goes down. But to me, it's like, bro, even if it's not Mazi Smith, if it's just somebody over there that's a linebacker or a nose tackle that's a no name, just trade him for that, because this no way helps your team. You're going to be paying his contract next year for the Cowboys. This move only benefits the Cowboys and Logan Wilson. So I get it. They had to make the move. The Bengals have done this before. Like when they have good relationships with certain players and people and they have respect for them, they're like, all right, man, if this is what you want to do, we'll go ahead and honor it. You haven't trashed us or anything like that. We're going in a different direction. So they did it. But to me, a 7th-round pick, like they didn't win that trade at all. Like I'm pretty sure Logan Wilson was still the best linebacker on that team. And you're getting rid of them. And the biggest issue is you don't have a replacement. You're going to have to draft linebackers probably next year.
2 more next year.
Someone next year. Like, I get it, but I don't.
Yeah.
Q, what do you thought about the trade deadline? I know you guys traded
Joe Tryon.
Yeah.
Where'd they trade him to?
We traded him to Chicago with the 7th-round pick to get a 6th-round pick in return, which is
sure
makes the return on the Logan Wilson thing kind of even funnier because how do we get a 6 for Joe Tryon in any combination? Yeah. You got a 7th for
because Tryon wasn't even playing for y'all, right? Or was he dressing up?
He was giving us 4 snaps a game. So
okay. So basically he wasn't playing. Okay.
But he was like when the Bucks took him, wasn't he
first
like
round?
He was a first round. Okay, I was gonna say that. I was like, well, maybe he was the 2nd round, but I was like, I think he was the first round.
32nd. Yeah, I think he was the last.
He would have been the last one. Yeah. He went to what? Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Washington.
College.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the year after they won the Super Bowl. Yep, I remember that. Yep.
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah, pretty semantic level move there. I mean, they needed now. They got Mike Hall back. They're only going to keep 10 active on the game day roster, so they need to get rid of a defensive line person to make sure they can play Aiden Huntington on game days. So they made the move. I know a lot of Browns fans were expecting the Browns to do a lot here, but they're 2-6, and let's be real about where they are, right? Like the upside to getting better right now is non-existent. Like you can make yourself slightly better, but the short term is just so unimportant right now for this team. The long term is what's important, and you're going to have to fix your offense in the offseason. You're going to have to, use those resources to a maximum.
Is Jerry Jeudy a free agent next year?
No, he's still under contract.
He extended. Yeah, they extended him as soon as you guys traded for him, right?
Yeah, I think we got him until 2027 under control.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, it's just it was exactly what I thought it would be for the Browns. I know I had some friends who thought we were going to get Garrett Wilson. That did not happen. But, at this point, the Browns should not do anything during the trade deadline that backs them into a corner when it comes time to make more important moves later in this offseason.
Okay, we have one super chat, and then we'll go straight to the games. Bengals D is so bad. This is from Ben Riley. We should force it to sit in the corner and watch.
I'm pretty sure they were already doing that, bro. They were watching a lot of guys run up and down the field on them.
Oh, I forgot to say the Steelers did add somebody. They officially signed Marquez Valdez-Scantling today.
I saw that. I knew Jared was pissed off when he said we're getting all of these like notifications between Sauce, and they were like, "Oh yeah."
I mean, it was reported. It was reported last week by Fowler that like they were putting together a deal. It just became official today. So
what about the Tomlin thing where it was like, yeah, I like getting deals done or something like that?
Yeah, he said, I like shopping. I'm like, yeah, bro. Shopping. Well, must be window shopping because you didn't buy anything.
Window shopping. Okay, so Ravens and Dolphins. Not much of a game.
Coughing baby versus atomic bomb.
Not much of a game, but the first quarter was tight. Lamar did look rusty in that first quarter. Closer to the first half, actually, he looked rusty in my humble opinion. But the Ravens are forcing. They did force turnovers, which then gave them short field. And then once the second half kept rolling, then he ended up with 4 touchdowns, 5 interceptions only. Henry had over 100 yards. This was a game that early in the third quarter, you're like, okay, this is it. They're not coming back. Tua looks so bad. That team look not cohesive. They didn't look like they looked there like uninterested in playing. Especially like I said,
I'm surprised they didn't make more moves at the deadline.
Me too.
The Dolphins, yeah.
I mean, Bradley Chubb
didn't go anywhere.
Bradley Chubb stayed.
Matt Judon
stayed. Matt Judon.
Minka. Minka?
Yeah.
I feel bad for Minka, man. Should have sent his ass to a contender.
That was your boys did that.
He's still my boy. I love Minka.
By the
Legitimately
way,
one of my favorite Steelers ever. I'm
not gonna
I wish
lie.
he would have gone somewhere.
I'm not gonna lie, Jared. I didn't notice him in the game at all against us.
Not
even in attack.
When the other 10 guys aren't existing either, it's easy to not notice him. Yeah.
I did, because I've never been a big fan of Phillips. I personally, not even coming out of the draft. I think me and Q talk about the Miami boys. I didn't like neither Russo or Phillips. I know Q liked Phillips. But Phillips actually, I saw him bull rush Pat Ricard in, I think he beat Rosengarten once. So I noticed him. But anyway, back to the game. I think Lamar was rusty.
Mika, like, kind of a position that requires on, like, we saw this even in Pittsburgh, where, like, if the Pittsburgh Steelers had a hole on defense, they have to have Mika fix it, and all of a sudden Mika's not going to be really that useful to you because he's stopping you from going underwater. I don't know what happens when the defense is already underwater, because the team don't give a fuck, because that's what the Miami Dolphins are.
Anyway, yes, what Q said is correct. That's how the team looked on Thursday night at home. Usually, again, Thursday nights favored the home team.
The night game, they came out there with no juice.
Nah. Like, again, the Ravens were rusty at the beginning on offense. We went straight 3 and out. Lamar missed the guy. It wasn't like Lamar missed Bateman on an out route. He threw it low, and he said it like, "Man, I'm mad." Like in the post, like I was mad that in the first drive I just missed Bateman, and he looked rusty. I think most of his misses probably were in that first half. But like I said, then because Miami couldn't do anything, they did move the ball fairly well between the 20s, but once they got to the 20, they couldn't do anything, and then they went for it, and they missed a field goal, and they weren't doing good on 4th down. Anyway, it felt weirdly a relaxed game. Like my wife's like, "God, you're not even that interested in this game." It was mid 3rd quarter. So I'm like, yeah, I mean, the other team's not putting any effort, so I'm just here relaxing, which is rare. It's rare this year. So that's all I have, really. Miami, I don't know if I can put the defense had looked better in the past 3 weeks. I don't know against the Bears. Obviously, the Bears put a lot of points against the Bengals, so cool. Against the Rams, cool. Against Miami, I don't know what to think of Miami. Like I said, it looked like a team that is quitting already. So I don't know how much I can say, oh, look at my Ravens. They're all the way back. Look how they did against Miami. Let's see how they do against Minnesota, because Minnesota at least is playing hard. Let's see how they do against Minnesota before we crown the Ravens like they're all the way back. Jared.
Yeah, like Miami started off pretty well on offense because they did like a funky formation on the first play.
And they put the 3 on the side. Never seen that formation. I haven't, at least.
Yeah, and they fake the toss, and then Tua throws it over the middle to Jalen Waddle. They get an immediate gain of 20, and it's like, all right, maybe they'll put up a fight this game. This could be interesting. And then proceeded to score 0 touchdowns. It became unwatchable by the second half. Lamar looked good, especially in the second half, threw 4 touchdowns. Mark Andrews had a nice game. Overall, that's kind of what we expected in that game, where Thursday night games can be a little bit funky, but Ravens getting healthy, the Dolphins are just in a complete nosedive. Nothing too surprising there.
Ace.
Nothing to it.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think this was a game we kind of all picked. I believe everybody picked the Ravens to win this game. It was over, like Jared said, by the second half. There were times where Miami could have gotten in this game, and they just made a mistake to kind of mess it up. They tried to keep it pretty close early on, but once the Ravens got rolling, the Ravens were rolling. And I think if I'm looking at the Ravens from the last couple of performances, like I get that it's Miami, right? But the defense has played well. 6 points only given up in this one. You talk about the 16 to the Bears, and then you talk about 17 to the Rams. Those are the numbers that you kind of expect to see from this defense, especially when they're playing against bad teams, right? So, and the bad team is Miami. So I'm not calling the Bears a bad team, but, that's what you expect to see from them in their defense from that standpoint. Lamar Jackson, you're expecting to see that rust. I kind of said going into that one, how much is Lamar going to run in this game? Like, that was going to be a factor, I think, for me, just because you didn't know if he was going to test the hamstring much. 5 carries for 14 yards. Didn't really need to do that much from that standpoint. So played smart there. Did his thing, 200 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a Ravens win that they needed. So, took care of business, did what they needed to do.
Yep. Cute.
Yeah, I mean, not much else to say here. The Ravens did what they needed to do. It was kind of what I thought it was going to be, where it's like it hangs around a little bit, even though the Dolphins were a little bit too pathetic to really finish that one off. I think the Ravens got to them by halfway through the third. Yeah, it's about what you expected from a Miami team that, looks like they're not really locked in at this point. They've had issues all year. And about more the same. They tried to hit this one void shot all game. Like they were like, we're gonna crease and then stretch the Ravens, like the left side of them, and hit like a little void in the slant. And that's all the tricks that they had, like in this game. Like if they didn't hit that, nothing else happened for them. Miami's a shitty team, man. I don't know what else they're gonna do. Like the Ravens have given up 4 40-point games this season or something crazy like that. And the Dolphins get 6 points in this one?
6 points. Yep, that's it.
They scored less than Joe Flacco and the Browns did that one game where the Ravens were playing fucking amazing. Like defense. Roquan, I thought he was solid in this game too. Really did a good job getting to the run fits, tackling, just don't know what you could take away from here. Jared, I'm interested to know what did you think of Tua's performance here? Somebody who's going to be, the next.
I was waiting for that. You know what I mean?
25 of 40, 261. Just one interception.
There were Dolphins fans, because I was being my usual prick self on Twitter about it, and people like responding to me. Tua's playing well, jackass. I'm like, all right, dude. Yeah, they're losing by 20, and they're 2-7. But yeah, they're playing awesome. You're right. Sorry, my bad. Fucking idiots.
I need to follow you more closely when the Broncos are playing, or
I can't do it with the Broncos anymore. Every time I bet against them, they win, and some bullshit happens. I bet Philadelphia heavy.
Demon magic right now.
It apparently, I am, any sort of negative energy I put out about the Broncos, they apparently find it and channel it and turn it into wins. They were trailing big against Philadelphia. I bet Eagles money line that game as part of a parlay. They cucked that all up. I bet the Texans in this game, CJ Stroud gets knocked out, and then Pez Dispenser Mills has to come in and play quarterback, and it was close. So yeah, they're 7-2, and I frankly do not care. That's still a team that does not scare me.
You're not a fan of Bo? You're not a fan of Bo?
No, it's pretty well documented that I'm not seems like a swell guy. Just as a quarterback, I don't think he's good.
A swell guy.
Yeah, he does. Anytime I say that about somebody, by the way, I'm about to follow it with, but they suck at football.
Hey, so Stephen A. Smith, you are a baller, an absolute stud. But you were god awful against the Knicks.
Okay, let's talk about the Bengals Bears. Ace, I did tell you that I had a different take. Mm-hmm. My take is not the defense. Well, it's good. My take is more. I know we talk about how bad Zach Taylor is, right? We have talked about this, and when we talk about how bad Zach Taylor is as a coach, I have a big issue, because I'm a guy that had criticized how Lamar sometimes behaves on the field with his teammates. Now his teammates had said we don't care, blah blah blah, and we like to be called out, right? But as soon as a press conference comes and the Ravens have been burned by tons of points, we have lost games that we have been leading. Lamar has never called out his defense. If anything, what he says is, they have Bella's house before. We need if they were struggling today or they had struggled in the past 3 games, we need to do better. We need to score more points. The fact that Chase, with his comment and his passive aggressive.
Jamar Chase or Chase
both,
Brown?
Both. Jamar Chase, passive aggressive. Chase Brown went directly. Chase Brown said, y'all suck. Jamar Chase was very passive aggressive.
Jamar could get away with it because he's Jamar Chase.
Right.
Brown is
so first, one of the things I was going to say is, Chase Brown, you became good the past 3 or 4 weeks. What are you talking about, bro? And even with Jamar Chase, my problem is you're supposed to be one of the leaders of this team.
That Jamar has. Jamar could be frustrated. But I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
My point with Jamar is he's supposed to be one of the leaders. And then third, even bigger, where are you at, Zach Taylor? Because that shit should not happen. If it is your team, that shit should not happen. You should be like, offense, I know you're frustrated. I'm frustrated too. Internally, you can in the meeting, you can call whatever it is. You can, but outside to the public, calling them out like that, I thought it was crazy. I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna lie. Gives you a little bit of vibes of what Miami was doing early in the year, with the coach was calling the quarterback and then the player. And I'm like, well, this is becoming toxic quick. And I think you put a tweet that last year's second round pick was asking for a trade, right? I forgot his name.
Third round pick, McKinley Jackson. Yes.
Yeah. It's a defensive player. I'm not gonna lie.
Nah, he's asking for a trade.
So McKinley Jackson has been a healthy scratch 5 out of 6 games, and he's not like Mike Pennell asks for his release. So somehow he got in the doghouse, and I don't understand it because McKinley Jackson played well at the end of last year.
Oh,
he got in the doghouse. Yeah, he got in the doghouse. Mike Pennell was getting snaps over him. They'd signed TJ Slayton this year. So everybody was like, well, he's not going to play that much. He's been a healthy scratch 5 out of 6 games. And when Mike Pennell got cut, he's like, oh, this is my time to finally get active. Nah, they took a practice squad dude over him and basically was like, yeah, dude, you're still not going to play. So he went to them and was just like, look, if I'm not going to play, just trade or release me. Like, it is what it is. They say, Zach Taylor says, oh, we had a great conversation. Doesn't make him inactive for the game. 0 snaps this weekend. They played the Jordan Jefferson kid over him that was like signed to the practice squad.
But my point here is the leadership, the lack of leadership of the Bengals has not been great, right? Like, I understand the defense is not good. I mean, that last play where Loveland scored, it looked like they were playing Pong, like boom, 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 bouncing out of guys, right?
Yep.
And I get the offense being frustrated. I just think, and internally, they can shoot their ass all they want. I just think bleeding into the public, it does not look good. I did see Jordan Battle in Geno Stone's press conference yesterday and today. So, they're taking it good, but I can see how that can definitely even fragment more a team that is right now suffering. And again, if anything, if your management, Tobin and the ownership was thinking about Zach Taylor, this for me is one of the worst offenses that he has done. Well, you as the chief of the team, I know Burrow's not there because Burrow can really talk because he's on an injury, right? But you should be like, nah, we ain't calling players out. I understand we're frustrated. Again, Chase Brown, what are you talking? You just became good. You just became good. We just had a running game lately in the past 3 or 4 games. Yeah. You were nothing before. What are you talking? Anyway, that was my different take. Yeah. Go ahead, Ace.
I would say, first of all, Jamar Chase didn't throw the defense under the bus. Like, they caught him. Now, the reporters caught him on his way to the locker room saying one fucking stop. He didn't know that he was on camera, like, saying that. So what Chase Brown did and what Jamar Chase did, it was very different because there was a point in Jamar Chase's press conference when they asked him and they were like, oh, so what are you going to tell the defense as your player? And he was like, I'm going to stay in my lane. I don't want any defensive players coming to me trying to chew me out, asking what the F I'm doing. So Jamar didn't like throw the defense under the bus to the media. Chase Brown, I don't have a problem with anything Chase Brown said. I'm gonna be honest with you. He was real. Get the effing stop. Like, bro, they're not stopping anybody out there. There's no effort being played on defense. And to me, like, maybe he shouldn't have said it publicly, but everybody's thinking that. He's not saying anything.
That's my point publicly.
Everybody's not thinking. And I'm like, if he's not gonna hold them accountable or nobody's gonna hold them accountable, like, it was just a boiling point of frustration for him. Cause it's like, bro, we've dropped nearly 40 in back-to-back weeks, and you guys are letting these teams just run up and down the field against us. And it's like, bro, we get an onside kick. We come back down. We get an onside kick. We score. All you have to do, because Santos in that game had missed a field goal. So there was a chance, I feel like people believed, like, if he has to kick another field goal, he's already missed a couple. He really missed one, but got negated by a penalty. Then he got one blocked. So it was like they were thinking if we leave this in Santos's hands or his foot, we got a good chance here. Bro, the effort on that last play.
Who were the players in that last play?
There was 3 guys around him. There were 3 guys around Colston Loveland. I know for a fact it was Jordan Battle. We all know that.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that it was Josh Newton, who was there as well, number 28. And I don't know who the third guy was. But, dog, there's 3 people around him. Like, I'm not like I get it. But I was like, there was more pushback for freaking Chase Brown than there was Al Golden. Zach Taylor's getting interviewed the next day, and he's like, yeah, I wish that Chase Brown would have took the Jamar Chase route. But, yeah, I never thought about firing Al Golden. Like, dog, you're the worst defense at this point in NFL history by EPA. You're the second worst by DVOA. You're the worst defense in the NFL. Like, for me, like, watching this game, bro, like, I said last week, I'm completely wrong about this defense. They're bad. If they don't get any turnovers, they can't do anything. Guess what? Another game with no turnovers. Guess what happened? 47 points on your head top. Like, bro, they cannot stop anyone. This is a game that the Bengals it started off with a kick return from Charlie Jones scoring a touchdown. Joe Flacco threw for 470 fucking yards.
First time in his career he's thrown for 400 yards, I think.
With a fucked up shoulder. And you recovered an onside kick, and you still lost the game. You lost the game because of the defense. They couldn't stop anybody. I thought it couldn't get worse from last year. No, this is worse, dog. This is absolutely worse. And when I watched the All-22, it was even worse than I imagined. Like, from a scheme standpoint, guys weren't rotating the right way on the defensive line. Like, shout out to that Bears running back, bro. Remember when we came on this show and I said, if you are a fantasy player, start whoever the backup running back is, third string, put him in anyway, because the starter's going to get off, which Monungai did. But hey, Britton Brown, straight from the practice squad, comes right in and runs a 37-yard touchdown. That is why I told you guys, start whoever against this Bengals defense.
DJ Moore got me a passing touchdown. 3. That was pretty sick.
Oh, everybody's eating. Everybody is eating against this defense. They are giving it up, bro. And they will give it up fast. It's not even like if the offense is not perfect and they have a 3-and-out or something like that, we already know that the defense is about to give it up. We know that they're giving it up. We know that they're going to go get 7. And this is what I was kind of talking about last year. Like, you can have a great offense and all of that, but if your defense cannot stop anybody, you are not going to win the game, because you're going to have to play games with clock management, which Zach Taylor is horrible at, by the way. He scored too fast in that game. I'm like, bro, our defense has been giving it up all game. What are you doing? Like, why are you scoring so fast? Why are you not running the ball to run some clock out? Because you know what time it is with this defense. And it's honestly disgusting. They got 2 rookie linebackers that don't know what they're doing. And anytime those guys are out there on the field, they don't know what checks to get into. They don't know which way to go. There's times where these guys are going the wrong way. Shamar Stewart is ass. He cannot get off. He's glued to any kind of freaking tackle out there. People are going viral off of the pancake block, like where he just gets escalated into another stratosphere. Like, dog, the Bengals defense, the only player that's good on this defense, there's literally one. Trey Hendrickson's not there. DJ Turner's the only kid that can play on this defense. Everybody else sucks. Jordan Battle's not good. He's leading the league. Like, when you go to the missed tackles list, the top 3 in the NFL are all Bengals. It's Jordan Battle. It's Demetrius Knight.
By the way, it was Geno Stone, the other guy.
It's Geno Stone. Like, everybody on this defense is bad. They cannot tackle. They had a players meeting for what? To give up 47 points the next. So, like, I understand Chase Brown's frustration, because it's like, bro, you guys are not giving us anything on defense. And if they don't get an interception, they don't have anything. And I think for me, what I saw on film was a lot of low IQ football. These guys don't know where they're lining up at. Like, kudos to the Bears and what they were doing over there, because they got on the field and they lined up immediately. There were so many snaps in this game where by the time they're snapping it, the Bengals defense isn't even set up. That stuff that they seen on film, that stuff that they came in knowing, we're going to get up here, get to the line, get our offense set. They're not even set. They're not making the right shifts. They're not making the right checks. Like, everything is just bad when it comes to this defense. And I don't understand how you could watch that and say nobody's getting fired. Like, I don't like Al Golden, Zach Taylor. I don't know how you just watch that and you're like, yeah, I didn't even consider fire. We're going to get better. Do you think anybody believes that? Nobody believes that this defense is getting better. I don't like, honestly, even if we would have somehow miraculously won the Jets game, when I was sitting there thinking that the Jets game was in hand, I was like, dog, this defense is too bad. We're not going to beat these other teams. Like, we haven't played a Josh Allen yet. We have not played a Lamar Jackson yet. We have not played a real deal elite offense. And I knew that the Bears could score, but this isn't the Ravens. This isn't the Bills. This isn't like we're not going to play the Eagles, but if you're letting teams like this put 47 on your head top, what is going to happen when you play a real deal offense? Like, they might score 70, bro. Like, the way this defense is, they might score 70. So for me, like, that's why I couldn't pick the Bengals last week. Like, the way that this defense looked, the way that they're giving it up, I just don't see them being able to do anything with this defense. It's the same issue as last year, but the defense is even worse. Like, the defense is worse than it was last year. You're actually getting complimentary football from your special teams unit, but not from your defense whatsoever. And so that's what the situation is. I don't think Al Golden is going to fix it. Even if you throw Trey Hendrickson on there, he's not stopping no 47 points, bro. He's not. Like, he would have gotten some pressures and did some things here and there, but he's not going to stop and turn around a defense that's giving up 47 points and stuff like that. And it just doesn't make sense because this is a product of Duke Tobin making these high picks, first and second round picks on defense, and them just being shitty. And they're trying to throw them out there, and they're trying to say, oh, well, we spent these picks. We're going to throw – like, Barrett Carter has no business being on the field right now. Like, Barrett Carter is like, to me, is the equivalent of the guy that you guys drafted, Sonny, that was out of Clemson. That linebacker, the linebacker from Clemson.
Simpson.
He's like Simpson. He's an athletic guy. He's not high IQ. He needs some years. They're throwing him out there now, bro. They're throwing him out there now. He doesn't
Simpson's
know what
not
the
even
hell.
playing with us anymore.
He doesn't know what the hell. So it's like having Simpson out there and thinking that I'm going to start Simpson from day one, and he's not going to, like, it's just really bad football. It sucks for Jamar Chase and T. Higgins because their performances and Joe Flacco's performance get overshadowed in this whole thing. Chase Brown in this game, I think, had like 14 checkdowns or something like. Chase Brown was doing his thing. Chase Brown, I think, was the third leading receiver in this game.
Yeah, Noah 75 yards on 8 catches.
Noah Fant gets a touchdown. So it's like, it doesn't matter, bro. And like they've picked up the offense, but it doesn't matter because the defense is ass. So, that's what it is with the Bengals right now. Like, I don't think a bye week is fixing this. I don't think anything is fixing this defense. And to me, if it continues to go the way that it's going, you have to clean house, bro. Like, and to me, it's over Zach Taylor right now because this is going all the way up to Duke Tobin. Because when you look at these players that the Bengals have moved on from the 2021 defense, right? You're talking about Jesse Bates. You're talking about DJ Reader, and they have not replaced any of them. They've not replaced any of them. They haven't hit on any of these picks. Like DJ Turner's the only one. Everybody else isn't good. And this was a team that tried to sell us this season on, we're going to play the young guys. Well, maybe Lou wasn't playing the young guys because they suck, dog. Like, maybe that's the reason, bro. Like, maybe there's a reason he was playing a washed Sam Hubbard over these guys because they're not good. And that's just simply where they're at. So I think this starts at the top. You got to clean house with Duke Tobin. He's been there since 2000. The Bengals haven't had a good defensive draft in quite some time. I'm starting to believe the rumors that were around during the Marvin era that Marvin Lewis had a lot of input on the defensive guys that were getting drafted because they cannot draft anymore when it comes to defense. Like, and that's why I'm with Jared when he's like, F them picks. Cause I'm like, yeah, what am I going to do? Draft another Shamar Stewart, draft another Miles Murphy, draft another. And then I get to watch Walter Nolan go off yesterday. Like, no, bro, I'm done with Duke Tobin and these guys when it comes to drafting and when it comes to this team, because this is the same guy that hired Zach Taylor. Like, him and Duke got to go. I'm with it by whatever means that it has to happen. If they have to continue to lose games for that to happen, I'm good with it because in this window, with Joe Burrow's contract paid, T. Higgins paid, Jamar Chase paid, where they can't just go out and sign guys off in free agency and cover up those holes, and they have to hit in the draft, this current iteration of the Bengals and that this front office cannot win that way.
Q.
Yeah, man. Joe Flacco ain't even started throwing them interceptions yet, too. Like, that's the thing. Like, they're getting an incredible play out of Joe Flacco right now. And they've won one game with him. Yeah, the problems defensively are fascinating. I mean, Ace told me I should start Caleb Williams, and he was right. I got like 40 fantasy points off of that. So big shout out to y'all. But yeah, like Kyle Managai went off on this one.
Mm-hmm.
It was
great.
I thought their draft was bad when it happened. I remember being very critical. Like the Bengals didn't look like they really had a ideal of what they're doing. And I stand confirmed on that watching this right now. It's tough too, because what you gonna do? Fire Al Golden? You just literally hired this man, so like you just be admitting more of a failure than what's there. Because if you fire Al Golden, like what, 6 weeks into him doing his job, or however many weeks, you're basically saying we as a process failed. So you got to fire more than Al Golden if that's what you're gonna do. But they're not gonna do any of that shit, right? They're not gonna fire Zach. They're not gonna fire Duke. They're not gonna fire Al. They're just going to run this thing back, which is
next year. You think next year they run it back?
I think the Bengals are going to keep this whole thing together.
Nah, bro. If they run this back, that's disgusting.
I'm to get ready to be grossed out. Because, like, here's what they're going to tell themselves. Well, Zach could get offense together without Joe Burrow, and look what he did with Joe Flacco. And the defense wasn't bad, wasn't good, but you know what? We didn't have the horses, and we're gonna draft more players on defense. And it was Al Golden's first year. They're gonna run this bitch back. Like they're gonna talk themselves into Joe Burrow was hurt. Maybe that had a change on things. They're gonna run this bitch back, and that's what's best for the North. But I don't think that's what's best for the Bengals. It is fascinating watching the Bengals have this problem, and look, I get the Bengals have never been a defensive team and a defensive oriented team, and that's never been their identity. But I think when they had a respectable defense, that was when they have gone the farthest, right? At least in modern history, right? Especially with Joe Burrow in 2021. I thought that defense played really respectable down the stretch in the playoffs, and that was a real big boon for them. And now all of that is gone. The only piece left is Trey Henderson. And at this point, let that boy go. You don't want to him. You don't want to push shit around. Why Trey here, but Logan get to go to Dallas for free? Like, why y'all keeping me here if I'm Trey? Is it because I asked? Like, is it because I asked too early? If I would have asked nicely, would you have sent me to fucking what's a good team right now? The Chiefs for a ham sandwich and a 5th round pick? Like, is that what you would have done? It's just, and then to have the audacity to trade a defensive player after struggling this much defensively, it's just like, let's get worse. More you know what I mean? More.
Oh my God, let's get worse.
Yeah, like you gave up 1 million yards to Kyle Managai and some guys you've never heard before, and they're like, you know what? This run defense needs one less linebacker. That's what this run defense.
He was inactive in that game, correct? Logan was inactive.
Yeah,
it was like they got rid of Jermaine Pratt. They stripped everything away from the defense that was there in 2021, and it makes me wonder, like, what was the autopsy for that season? Did they think that the defense had nothing to do with that run? Like, did they just like, let's get rid of DJ Reader, let's get rid of all these guys? It don't fucking matter what our defense looks like. We're gonna outscore them. This is just, I don't know, man. If they want to waste the primes of Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow at the expense of every other team in the North, be my guest. Like, sure, but it just feels like they're desperately trying to put Joe Burrow in the Carson Palmer situation. He won't do it because he's more of a loyal guy than Carson Palmer, in my opinion. But boy, they testing him. They test him. Like Joe Burrow gonna have to have some cryptic tweets this summer to get them to act right. Because what the fuck is this defense that we're looking at every Sunday? Like, did you see the game-winning touchdown?
Yes.
It looked like Pong.
That shit was worse than when Marcus Williams had that tackle against Stephon Diggs.
Oh yeah, that was way. Yeah,
it was 3 of them. You get him. I guess he's gonna score now. Yeah.
Joe Burrow's gonna have to like start traveling all over the place, like he's a college coach recruiting high schoolers to come to his team. He's gonna have to like talk to like high-profile free agents in person, be like, now look, cap-wise, there's not a lot there, but here's what we can offer you. And please come to the Cincinnati Bengals for nickels on the dollar because we really, really need pieces to win.
They got so many things working against them right now. One, I'm not working for nickels on the dollar for a place that's also going to be a fucking headache. Like, and that's what they've established themselves as. They're fucking a headache to Trey Henderson. Shamar Stewart got in there immediately. Was like, yeah, it is a headache out here. Everybody telling me it's a headache.
I'm going back to Texas A&M.
You gonna be cheap. You got to make shit easy, right? Like you can't be. I don't know. Do they still charge for the Gatorade? In the locker room, they can't still be doing that, right? They stopped doing that a long time.
What they used to
They stopped doing that. They stopped doing that when Marvin Lewis got here.
Oh, I was gonna say
they were like the last team to stop charging for Gatorade, something like that.
Bizarre.
But that kind of shit sticks with you, right? Like it's 20 years later, I still think that's happening, right? Like so, if Joe Burrow will go out there, a couple later Cincinnati, it's like okay, but if Josh Allen called me, I'd rather go there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or Pat Mahomes called me. You know what I mean? Like,
Joe's gonna have to like take out a separate account where he like puts his own money into it to Venmo guys after every week.
Jared, for any of this to work, because like people are like, "No, they're gonna fuck with me on my money. They're not gonna pay me if I play well, and then they might just trade me." like, there's no institutional trust there with the Cincinnati Bengals, whatsoever. And like Joe Burrow's cool and all, but like, hey man, other quarterbacks exist, right? Like, I'd rather go to Philly, like. So it's tough, man. Like they are a team in desperate need of deep changes in order to maximize the golden opportunity they have on their roster right now. And they seem like they're uninterested in making even the most minute changes to the formula. And that's gonna be what they're gonna be. This is who the Bengals are right now. They're a great offense and a shitty defense, and every week we're going to see who wins that race. The defense or the offense. Who's going to win? Who's going to win? Who's going to be shittier or better? Right? Are you going to be better than the shit, or is the shit going to be shittier than you? And Joe Flacco unfortunately threw an interception in this game, and that's what got him. Like, it's one mistake. It's one mistake. This shit can happen to Joe Burrow too. One mistake, it's over. One ill-timed turnover, it's over.
Jared?
Yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say. Joe Flacco playing the game of his life, throwing for a career high in yards. And like the last 5 minutes of that game where Joe throws the pick to Tremaine Edmonds, he takes it back for a touchdown. It gets ruled that he's down by contact.
I don't know where he was down by contact.
Down by contact, by the way. Where was
that was strange.
I didn't know the explanation for that. Like,
I don't know. It was like when he was making the play, they like the offensive player like touched him like before he got up and ran.
Regardless, the fact that they were able to, I mean, they're down 2 possessions at that point. They score a touchdown, get the onside kick. Joe throws a touchdown to Yoshi, and you feel like the game's. Chase Brown set it up to the game. Just get a stop. Like there's no reason why you can't get one stop. And then they're in 22 victory. You win a shootout of a game that you earned offensively to win. And look, man, I would have traded Trey at this point. If you were 4-5, you could talk me into it, be like, all right, look, they're staying afloat. The defense is bad. Yeah, but they won a game shootout wise. You can still like if Joe gets back a little bit sooner than expected, then maybe make a playoff push. You're 3-6 right now, man. Like there's no reason to not be a little bit more of a seller at the deadline. So that was a
but
shock.
Who are they selling though? Other than
I mean, if they weren't going to get a fair price for Trey, I understand not moving him. And like, Also, if you the issues, the defense only got this bad when Trey Henderson got hurt.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing. There is they've seen what this defense looks like without Trey Henderson. So if you're trading him, you've got to be getting like notable players and stuff back. They're not trading him for draft picks where their draft picks fucking suck that are playing on the field right now. So it would have had to have been like a player and some picks or something like that, because they are absolute dog shit without Trey Hendrickson on this team.
I hear that. And again, I just think it's 3-6 at this point. Is he playing after the bye?
He should be. I think he's supposed to come back. He re-aggravated the hip injury after somebody took a cheap shot on him. So
yeah, against the Jets, right?
Yeah, I think he's going to be back after the bye. We'll see. We'll see how it advances.
And that'll be in Pittsburgh. So, we'll see how that game goes. It's pretty rare, I think, at this point that we see a lot of sweeps in the North. So big that it's in Pittsburgh. We'll see. It could be. It could be.
This is my year.
So the one thing I want to add to the whole Bengals situation, the Bengals, in my opinion, have boxed themselves. And when we were talking earlier about trades, like for the Ravens, they haven't been able, we'll see what Mike Green is, but they haven't been able to draft consistently good pass rushers, consistently good receivers, right? Zay Flower has been the only one of all the other ones first-round picks, right? I think the Bengals have similar problems on defense and drafting, right? They haven't been able to draft good defensive player. They have swung and missed basically an older first-round
during the Zach Taylor era, right?
Yeah.
I think the Ravens y'all haven't done bad at pass rusher. Like y'all, who was the dude that left and went to the Jets? Like he was pretty good.
When he UDFA, Judon?
Matt Judon was pretty good for you guys.
Yeah, but Judon was a while ago, and that was a late round pick from a small college that ended up paying out.
Right?
Dafa always doing this thing over there in LA, man. Okay,
but that is fine, because the one thing I will say is you can change a player out of this scheme and play better, right? But you're supposed to draft for your scheme. My point is, I don't know how the Bengals can get out of this.
Yeah, you should a player to another team that you drafted. Talk about, he's just not a fit. You drafted him to be a fit here.
Yeah. So obviously you didn't draft it well. But the point that I wanted to make is, what do the Bengals do? The money they have spent on offense, right? So there's not like they have. I know they have some cap space, but they don't have tons of cap space to rebuild this defense. So the next thing they can do is next draft, just draft a bunch of defensive players. But obviously something on the scouting department ain't working. I don't know what it is. I can say this. I know Ace, you and me were not Shamar Stewart's fans. I said, hell no, that's a Dafe 2.0. I don't want him. Yeah. And McKnight or Knight, Knight, I didn't like that pick. Mm-hmm. And then you getting another linebacker, I was like, well, what is this, right? So something in the scouting department ain't working.
You know what
they need to fix it.
They have such an old school philosophy with the players that they take. Like they draft players that like scouts in the 90s are like, yeah, man, we fucking love Demetrius Knight. Like it's such a like outdated. They don't give a fuck about spark scores. They don't care about like Raz.
No, they do. They care about Raz. Raz is why they got Shamar Stewart. And somebody was like, somebody had a meme like Shamar Stewart trying to use Raz to get off the rock. Not the word. No, they got athletes now, Quincy. They got Raz stars, but they just
because the kid from Clemson,
Miles Murphy is a Raz star. Yeah, they got some Raz boys over there.
Maybe it's just like they're too reliant on the big brands because like they always draft guys from big schools. Yeah, but they're not creative.
They're big on like traits and speed and that athleticism, but it's always the guys that are viewed as like projects, and they suck at development. Like their coaching staff isn't good enough to develop players. So when they get them here, they're throwing them out there, and it's like, nah, these are players that you like see flourish in after like 2 years of development. Like, yeah, he's got all the tools, but he didn't have any sacks last year. Like, so this is not a guy that you're bringing in to be an instant impact guy, and that's where they have issues at when it comes to the draft. I think, in my opinion.
I think we also overvalue the ideal of like, oh, you could just like get him and be a project. Like, because like if a guy has all the tools and he hasn't demonstrated that he can utilize them in 4 years of fucking college football with all the training that they get there. Like that might have made sense in the 80s for like colleges that have NFL level.
Yeah, get ready to learn WWE ID, buddy.
Well, like you better get that fucking WWE contract, because like if you 4 years like at Alabama, you still not good at like IDing shit. Like, come on, man.
Yeah,
like, you're not about to find it out in the league. You're not about to get to the NFL.
When was the last project that you guys can think of
usually
to
like
pay
the
out?
that hit are like Ezekiel Ansah, who played football for like 3 years, like legitimately in his life, and it's like, oh, he was at BYU.
Rashawn Gary, maybe
FCS.
Rashawn Gary has
people kept saying, "Oh, Shamar Stewart's gonna be like Rashawn Gary, bro. No college production, second, third year in the NFL. He's gonna be a monster." Like, I don't know, bro.
It's like usually like, you know, like in modern college football, there's enough development, man. Like there's a lot of development going on.
Modern high school football, there's enough development for like all the 5 stars and whatnot. There's plenty of camps and shit that they go to every year.
I've been on 7 summer camps now. Like somebody gets through all of that shit and it goes to the NFL. It's like what he needs to do is learn how to do these very basic things. I at home identified he doesn't do well. It's like, come on, man. Like
these guys are drafting guys just coming into the league with a bull rush. No other moves. No other moves. Bull rush. That's it.
And that's cool. That can work against, the University of Arby's in a September Saturday when you can push around a 200-pound left tackle. But fuck's sake, man, like get a little bit of a deeper bag.
Yeah, it's every year the Bengals draft. And I've said this for a while. Like if the Ravens are the team, the Ravens and the Steelers, every year I'm like, fuck, they got that guy. Every year the Bengals get somebody. I'm like, wow. They took him. Like, who was the old boy from Florida? The defensive tackle y'all took?
Carter.
Zach Carter.
I remember watching him be like, yeah, pass. And then like, at the Senior Bowl. And then the Bengals took him. I was like, wow. Okay. Interesting.
Osai for me. All right, my favorite picks, and you guys know Logan Wilson was
the elite kid from Texas A&M. I remember looking at him and like, oh, he's not that big. Like,
Osai.
Zero. But yeah.
Anyway, we have a couple super chats here, and then we'll go to the next game. Ray Rack here says the Bengals defense feels like it's the epitome of all you had to do was follow the damn train, CJ.
The Browns defense, the Browns offense and the Bengals defense are equally as bad as each other are.
Yeah.
Like people talk about, oh man, if the Browns defense and the Bengals offense got together and linked up, they'd be amazing. Well, what about the other way around?
That might not be the college team.
Yeah, they're not beating the college team with that.
Did they beat Ohio State?
No. Okay, and then Kayla had 20 receipts. You know what? I forgot about this. The most disrespectful thing. They do a screen. The touchdown pass, whatever. That is just a play. But the screen play for Caleb, they screen Caleb.
Ben Johnson was just doing shit, and it was really funny.
But my point is, like, he's saying, "No, you're defending that tough. They're not gonna knock my quarterback out." Because if I see that as a Raven, I'm expecting somebody to come in, lay the hammer. You ain't gonna do this shit to us, right? Nah.
Did they call the Kyle Shanahan Johnny Manziel play? You remember that? Or
yeah. I remember that. Yeah. I guess the Ravens.
Yeah, like acting like he was supposed to be off.
And then go. There was a flag on him. Because he wasn't set.
Box, right? Yeah. But yeah, it was kind of like a similar version of that.
But they went like at the revert to the like a double pass. They went to a screen to the one side and Caleb leaked, and then a screen to the other side, which was risky, but they didn't care. Anyway.
I know the defense was hurt because that man wear nail polish. Like, he caught that shit on you. Gave that ball back with some polish on it, brother. Like,
okay. That being said, let's talk about the Steelers and the Colts. Jared and Q, you guys were right. I couldn't see it. Daniel Jones remember himself. By the way, the first quarter, it was what I thought this game was going to be. The Steelers offense can do jack shit. The Colts already had a turnover, and the Steelers can do jack shit. And then as the Colts are driving here for their second touchdown, driving, Daniel Jones fumbles. And after that fumble, areas they can unravel. But I will say this, Jared. Two things, and they're both together. I said to you, can the Steelers win without turnovers? All right, well, we don't know yet because this is a game where I think they were up 5 turnovers in the turnover margin in this game. 4 or 5? 6. But they okay, but whatever. 6 and
no, they were up 5 because Roman Wilson had a late
exactly
fumble
right.
Yeah.
So 5. Okay, so they have 5 on plus 5 on the turnover margin. That is usually equivalent of an ass whooping. Like a complete. If you are plus 5 in the turnover margin, and this game at the end was close for no reason.
And the final score made the game look a lot closer than what it was. They got a lot of. It was 24-7 with like 6 minutes left. They scored a touchdown and whatnot. Whatever. The game. I said the same thing after the New England game because that was a fair point after the New England game. This game wasn't close.
I don't know, but regardless. This again, Danny Jones. Remember who he was? I guess we'll see if because today they traded for Sauce Gardner,
which is crazy to do with Daniel Jones as your quarterback.
They believe in.
They're banking on him being the guy, man.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that.
It's ready to jump all the way on Daniel Jones, but
look, bro, I hear you, but like we said the same thing about like Geno Smith in Seattle, Baker, Darnold, like. It could work with the right situation. It has worked so far, so we'll see.
Darnold is looking like he might be the outlier. I'm not gonna lie.
Both Darnold and Baker had the same right. Remember, they met in Carolina.
Baker was never bad though. Like we can't do that. Baker was a good quarterback when he was with the Browns.
Oh darn it! I started something.
Yeah.
No.
All right. I'll talk to y'all in a half hour when we get to the Steeler game. Actually, let me know when this is done.
Go ahead.
I remember how we used to talk about Baker in 2019. I remember how we used to talk about Baker in 2021. Yo, there were different opinions of Baker than it exists now.
Well, let's think about the Panthers, Baker.
Without getting too deep, well, I mean, Panthers Baker was terrible too. I mean, he got benched twice. But to not get too caught up into this point, it might work out with Daniel Jones, but you do think you can get to the point where you can win the Super Bowl in the AFC with the guy?
Nah. Nope.
2 first-round picks.
No, I don't think that he's a Super Bowl guy by any means.
Can you envision Romo going, gee, Jim, I can't believe they just beat the Kansas City Chiefs, Jim. Like,
no.
Not
He's
living
not getting into the AFC.
Why the fuck are you mortgaging your whole future for fucking Sauce Gardner right now? This is the same criticism I had with the Ravens when they put all of this into like getting Roquan Smith, and I was like, Roquan Smith's not putting you over the top, and I was right about that, Raven fans. And I continue.
But the Roquan was only a 2 and a 5th. This was 2 first. Anyway, not to derail too much.
Not to, we not going. They paid similar prices for Roquan Smith as the Cowboys just paid for Quentin Williams.
No. Quentin Williams was the first and a second.
But still, it's like the most aggressive move the Ravens have made, and it was for Roquan Smith, and we all knew that trade wasn't going to put him over the top. Now, Sauce Gardner's a good corner. Is it going to make him a more sustainable team? Sure, but Daniel Jones is going to be Daniel Jones, even if you've made him better. He's going to, the same way what happened with Jared Goff. Jared Goff's better. He's still Jared Goff.
He still turns into a pumpkin in the biggest games.
What the fuck do you think?
I don't believe in Jared Goff.
Aren't even like that, Jared, and it happened to him in this game.
Yeah.
And like we've been talking about booty the Steelers defenses for like 3 weeks, and then like
they did.
I told you guys he was going to turn into a pumpkin in this game, bro. I was like, I'm not believing in Daniel Jones, and this is going to be the game. That's Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is
like 6-0 the last week on picking off straight vibes. I think I got this game. I got I got the Bengals game right because I was like, man.
Yeah, you were in the Jets.
I wouldn't mean there. And then what fucking game did it? Was it the
Jets and Falcons?
Yeah, then Jets and who?
Oh, you also said the Ravens were going to beat the Bears. Yes, you did.
Oh yeah, the Bears too. So maybe vibes are right. This is the vibe season. But
maybe.
Yeah. Jared, you go back and talk about the Steelers. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Defensively, I was pretty pleased with a lot of things that they did. First of all, they moved Jalen Ramsey back to safety, more so out of necessity because 4 of their safeties didn't play in this game. So they kind of had to do it. Kyle Duggar, who they traded for a week ago, played like all of like 2 defensive snaps. Like, he was out there all game. They gave him a game ball afterwards because he came in, played well right away. So that was really cool to see. Jalen staying at safety this week, according to Tomlin. That's the right move. So I was happy to see that. And takeaway wise, obviously when you get 6 takeaways, good things are going to happen. It just felt like something clicked, whatever that might be. TJ Watt was getting consistent pressure. Alex Highsmith had the game of his life, by the way. 2 sacks for him. He had a strip sack. Watt had a strip sack that he recovered. Peyton Wilson had an interception and then deflected another ball into Jack Sawyer's hands. Joey Porter had the final takeaway at the end, and then Josh Downs had a punt bounce off his chest that Brandon Echols recovered. So they were opportunistic. Started off slow. They won the toss and elected to receive, and then promptly went 3 and out. And then the Colts drove the ball downfield 13 plays, went for it twice, and scored a touchdown. And then the Steelers went 3 and out again. So early on, it didn't look good. And then the Josh Downs fumble happened. The Steelers get it into the red zone, but they failed to score a touchdown because they went for it on 4th down. Ball hit Darnell Washington in the chest. Wasn't really ready for it. But after that, Colts didn't score again until midway through the 4th quarter. So defensively, they were opportunistic. They're not going to get 6 takeaways a game, but they do have 2 games with 5 takeaways on the year. So, like, when they can do this every once in a while, I don't need you to get 5 every week, but this is a high-paid defense with a lot of, notable names on it. I would like to, see them average 1 or 2 a game to help out the offense. Offensively, Aaron was fine. He was efficient, threw for 200 yards, threw a touchdown, protected the ball. They couldn't run the ball really well. They only had 38 yards and 23 carries. And, it wasn't like a juggernaut offensive performance. But if I would have told all you guys going into the game, like, hey, DK is going to have 2 catches for 6 yards, and they're going to run the ball for less than 40 yards. What do you think this final score is going to be? Yeah, we would have all said, yeah, they're going to lose by 30. To put up 27 points with that type of production is, that's promising to me. And yeah, defensively, they're not going to keep this up in terms of all the takeaways every week. That's just unrealistic. But they had a lot of really good production from Brandon Echols. Jalen Ramsey played really well. Cam Hayward played well. Like I said, Peyton Wilson had the game of his life. Darius Slay still stinks, unfortunately, and I would hope to see
the one pick to Wilson. The guy threw it they just threw it to him.
Yeah, it looked like it was intended for him, but
yeah, it was crazy.
They're not gonna apologize for how they won. They were opportunistic. No, they took advantage of what was given to them.
And it's a good win though against the top team in the AFC.
They've got 2 wins against the other 2 of the 3 7-2 teams in the conference they've beaten. And they just have these games, man, like against Cincinnati where they can't stop anybody, against Green Bay where they give up 21 4th quarter points. It's frustrating. Aaron was talking after the game and he said that Jalen Ramsey gave a speech to the team ahead of the game, or ahead of like Saturday night before the game. And apparently a lot of guys really talked about that as like something, that really helped bring them together. So that's cool. If you put, a ton of investment into team camaraderie and whatnot, I think that's something cool to see from, a new guy, relatively speaking, to the team doing something like that. But coverage wise is one of the things that I kind of focused on writing this week, because the Steelers are a cover 3, cover 1 team. Those are the 2 coverages they play the vast majority of the time. They don't play a lot of cover 6 whatsoever. They don't play a ton of quarters. In this game, they doubled their usage of cover 6 by itself. They entered the week they played 7 snaps of cover 6. They played 6 in this game, and they had an incredibly high success rate. They don't play a ton of quarters. They played some quarters this week. They had an incredibly high success rate in doing it. So seeing them work in a few different looks and getting success through it, hopefully they continue to do that rather than just, trotting out the same cover 3 drop that they usually do the majority of games, the same 1 high safety that gets beaten more often than it should. Keep working in different looks and whatnot and be a little bit more unpredictable rather than, being a team that just lives in 2 looks and can get picked apart. So that was something that was noticeable to me. Hopefully they keep making those adjustments and playing well defensively. But yeah, big win when they needed it. Good.
No, your mic
got cut out.
Oh, that's unfortunate. But yeah, big win when they needed it. They avoid losing 3 straight. They stay 2 ahead of Baltimore in the division, stay a couple games ahead of Cincinnati. Yeah, it's big. And Now they have to go on the road against the Chargers. Luckily for them, obviously, I'm not wishing any injuries on anybody, but Joe Walt now done for the year. Rashawn, I'm out again.
Yeah, it
seems to be the issue here.
No, I don't know. It might be a connection thing.
Yeah, it might just be a connection thing. I mean, I feel like I've got good connection.
Yeah, because
you hear me now?
Yes, your mic is going, and then it's going fast forward everything you said.
Oh, well, that's annoying. Well, I'll keep this part quick then in terms of like next week. They play a Chargers team that's going to be without Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater. If the pass rush has anything to say about that game, it's a game that they should own defensively. We'll see how well Herbert plays behind a depleted offensive line, but feel good about them being 5-3. If they can go 3-1 in this next stretch, that's hopeful. If they go 2-2 even, then they're still sitting at 7-5, and that's a pretty okay spot to be in. But 3-1 over the next 4 games would be very promising. But we'll see what happens with Los Angeles. But thought they were opportunistic defensively against the Colts. Offense took care of things when they needed to, put up a good amount of points, and it's all you can ask for when your defense gives you that many takeaways.
Ace.
Yeah, man, I said it on the show. I couldn't see the Colts beating this Steelers team. Daniel Jones, great story, but I mean, eventually it's going to be a situation to where they run into one of those real teams. And I talked about, I was like, if they play the Ravens or something like that, I don't see them beating a team like that. Steelers were able to definitely bounce back on defense here, forcing the 5 turnovers, doing what they needed to do offensively. I mean, they've been consistent on offense. I remember, years past, we were like making jokes about the Steelers getting the 20 points here and there. They've consistently been able to do that this season. This is a game that they needed to win, especially with Baltimore on their heels. They had to come out here and get a game like this. So good win for them. I think that you feel good about this win. And then, as Jared said, like, you're going to try to stack that momentum going into that Chargers game and try to take advantage of what you can do there and play complimentary football. They did that in this last game. They won the game. They can continue to do that. It should make things pretty interesting for this last stretch of the North. So good win by the Steelers. Yeah, they came out and handled business, and they proved that the Colts have some chinks in their armor. But they did probably prompt the Colts to make this move to go get Sauce Gardner too at the same time. So we'll see how that works out.
Cute.
I think they did double damage there. Right? Prompted them to do that. I don't know if that's going to be the right move for them. And they gave up A.D. Mitchell too, right? Like
he's a Jet now.
They got him up out of there too. Yeah.
I mean, I would have liked A.D. Mitchell to be a Steeler. That would have been something I would have enjoyed seeing. But hey, what the fuck do I know?
Yeah. I would like to make this point because I know people are like, well, Quincy, this happened with other quarterbacks where they have found reclamation somewhere else. We're usually talking about guys who are top 3 picks. We're not talking about fucking Daniel Jones, right? Like,
he's a top 10 pick.
Yeah, it's not the same as a top 3 pick. It's not even remotely the same, right? Like, anybody can go top 10. Like, I think Nix was 2 picks away from going top 10?
He went 12th, yeah.
Yeah, and Tua went 11th?
No, Tua went 6 as well.
Ooh. Was he the second quarterback taken in that draft?
Yeah.
3rd. Herbert went before him. No.
Okay. No. Herbert went after.
I think Herbert went after. Let me look, because now it's going to bother me. But yeah, continue.
Yeah, okay. So Tua was the second quarterback taken in the draft, right? And, the Pittsburgh probably going to use similar logic here when they bring him over to Pittsburgh. But, yeah, I mean, the Daniel Jones thing, the reason it never made sense to me, and we'll see what ends up being the case for the rest of the season, is Daniel Jones has a well-documented set of issues that pop up with him on a regular basis. Maybe this could be a Ryan Tannehill situation, but, I think there are limits to what you could do in that situation. So we'll see what the Colts are, if they're going to be a team that kind of folds under great teams, or if they're going to be a serious contender. The Steelers, this is the win that they needed, right? A lot of questions being asked that, the Steelers aren't being used to being asked of them. They got Baltimore. It feels like they're breathing down their neck, but they're really not right now. But yeah, they needed this win. This is a big confidence booster, road win, right? For a team that's accused of not being able to beat better teams. Beating a 7-1 team will do that for you. We'll see what this turns into going forward for Pittsburgh. We all know that November's not usually been the problem. It's usually after Thanksgiving that Pittsburgh has issues finishing the season out. And that's also when Baltimore tends to play some really good football. So we'll see how the division race goes, but this is a good win, a quality win for Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah, don't worry. I'm not convinced that Baltimore's not going to come back and win the thing.
By the way, Tua was the 5th pick in that 2020.
Herbert was the 6th. Yeah,
and Herbert was the 6th.
That was crazy. That was still crazy.
Yeah, I've been dealing with people on Twitter be like, well, actually, you want to take the second quarterback, do you? I'd rather have Joe Burrow than Tua. I don't know about y'all. But,
oh, yeah. For sure.
By the way, a guy in that draft that always amazed me was Isaiah Simmons. Because people are like, oh, he can do everything. Every time I hear he can do everything, he can do nothing.
Jack of all trades is a master of none.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's like when you try to make them do everything right away, it's a problem, right? Like I don't like what they're doing with that dual Carter right now.
They did, yeah. That's actually a really good comp because they had Isaiah Simmons as an off ball, and then I think switched him to edge and then safety. Like it did a bunch of shit with him. Yeah, you're right.
Trying to like do all this. Like JOK was a jack of all trades, but like they just said, no, you just be a fucking Sam, and then we'll move you to Mike. Right.
Yeah.
Like usually the guy's good at a bunch of things because his team sucked in college and he needed to do a bunch of things in college. Right. Or like, he just was that talented that he could get away with it in college, but figure out what that really talented guy is really good at and just make him do that. Right. It's a Bill Belichick thing. You can move forward really fast. I'll have you do this thing that lets you move forward really fast. But that's, the jack of all trades stuff. I don't know, man. I got lost there, but we'll move on. I've been recording like 8 hours straight.
Rushi says, Ace, do you think the Bengals will ever get sold?
Unfortunately not. I mean, if they did get sold, there's no guarantee that they would stay in Cincinnati. So with all of the money and opportunities out there, I mean, the Vegas Raiders seemed like a bad fucking idea, but they did it. So I wouldn't want somebody to buy them that's not dedicated to keeping them in Cincinnati. And I think if you were to sell them you said, what's up?
The Austin Bengals, the San Antonio.
No.
I was going to say St. Louis.
Not signing up for that.
Yeah, the money's gonna move them to Texas, right? Like that's the thing. The Bengals are in a tough spot too, because like the Brown family can't sell them because that's what's keeping them in Cincinnati more than likely, unless like there's like y'all got Kroger there. Is the Kroger?
They got a lot of Fortune 500 companies in Cincinnati.
Yeah. Maybe some like Kroger billionaire gets there, but then the problem is also like, hey man, like Mike Brown's not a great owner. But none of these other owners are good either. And like a new owner gonna want to make decisions, bro. And let me tell you, as somebody who is living through that right now, every owner decision ruins your football team. Shout out to Jimmy Haslam.
Okay, so with that, we're gonna end it here. We're coming back on Friday. Because it's getting spicier. A lot of good games on the deck next week. I know the Bengals on the bye, but the rest of the division.
They already gave up 40 on the bye week. They gave up 40 on the bye week. So.
Well, they already did lose a defensive player.
So we'll be back on Friday. Until next time. Peace out.